Welcome back. This is part two. So we're going to be starting chapter 2 of the Roads Untraveled update for Scarlet Hollow. So really interesting. We left off in a different place because we didn't go off with Stella and we stayed with Duke in chapter 1. We're starting off in the estate at chapter 2. We had a little bit of time to get to know Oscar in the library. In this game, we haven't met Kanika yet because we met her kind of, but we didn't really get to talk to her a lot. Again, because we didn't really stay with Stella. So I see it's a very different game with not going with Stella in the beginning. We don't have that close relationship. That's why she didn't let us spend the night at our house last time. So let's see where episode 2 is going to take us since we had a different ending this time. Okay. Yep, we've already saved. I don't think I need a recap. I pretty much saw what we did. You open your eyes. The sun has risen, the birds are singing, and you're still alive. And for now, you're safe. Your gaze wanders across the room to the window and the woods beyond. You wonder if the monsters are lurking there, right now, just beyond the trees, ready to pounce as soon as you leave the crumbling estate. A familiar unease settles into your gut, knocking into a knot of anxiety, wriggling as the events of last night play out in your head. You can't help but remember Duke slumped against a tree, pieces of him scattered across the clearing. You're not sure if you'll ever feel okay again after what you've seen, but you can't stay in bed forever. Hunger pulls you from the clammy depths of the mattress. Okay, so if you can refresh... Oh, this is new from their UI changes. So the journal... Oh, okay. We didn't have this the first time around with the game. So we see the name, town name, our 2 traits. So what we've decided, we refused the boiled peanuts. We snuck into the Forbidden Wing. We were attacked by a mountain lion, but saved by Duke. Witnessed Duke died and didn't call the police. We met Stella's friend Kanika and her mom, and then we went back to the estate. So these are all the major things we decided in the first episode. Cool. Let's look at the closet. After what you went through last night, the last thing you needed this morning was waking up to find that doll in your closet. You pick up the doll to examine it more closely. Its foot reads, property of Alexandra. There's no way you're taking this with you. You close the closet behind you. You wound up putting your clothes away yesterday. Might as well get that out of the way before you start the day. You drag your suitcase over to the dresser and open the bottom drawer. A possum lurks within. It's quiet but angry. The poor thing looks cold in there, you think to yourself. You lay your clothes on top of the creature, arranging them in a little nest. It closes its mouth, somewhat more at ease than before, looking up with you with its shiny black eyes. You close the drawer, satisfied with yourself for a job well done. You creep towards the window, careful not to be seen by whatever might be lurking in the garden. For a second, you thought you saw movement. It could have been an animal. It could have been something else. Whatever it was, it's gone now. Maybe you'll head out there and investigate after you finish waking up. Time to start your day. You're back in the kitchen. The cat eyes you from her favorite spot on the counter. Excuse me, ma'am, but may I pet your beautiful fur? Part of you hopes that flattery might win her over. As silly as it may seem, you are, after all, talking to a cat. She merely flicks her tail faster. It doesn't look promising. Hey. You sure took your time getting up. I had a really rough night. Could you cut me some slack? No. It's not my fault that Stella got you all worked up, and I'm late enough as it is. So listen up. I wanted to make sure I relayed this message in person, in case you decide to brush off my call again. I don't want any repeats of last night. From now on, no running around in the woods after dark. It's dangerous out there. You could fall down a cliff. You could get stuck in a hidden cave somewhere. you could get lost in the woods and never be found. Just because nothing happens here doesn't mean it's safe. And just because Stella spends a lot of time in the woods doesn't mean she'll keep you out of trouble. I want you home by sunset from here on out. What's up with you and Stella? We just have a history, that's all. I don't need to explain myself to you. I tried getting home by sunset. I was just attacked by a mountain lion. Then get home before sunset. I'm sorry about last night. I had no idea what was going to happen, and I didn't think I'd worry you like that. Good. Glad we're on the same page. I'm late enough as it is. I'm going to work and expect to see you here at sunset. Tabitha takes a few steps towards the door. Sunset. Your cousin huffily exits the kitchen. Her footsteps fade down the hall, ending in the characteristic creak, then slam of the front door as it opens and closes behind her. Once again, you're the only human in the estate. Time to start your day. After last night, you should try to make things up with your cousin. Screw going into town, try to clean the bathroom instead, or we could head to town. I don't know. That bathroom was fucking nasty. Like, oh my God. If you're going to have to keep using that ungodly bathroom, you're going to at least try to make the surfaces have been bleached. You scoured for cleaning supplies, finding a few dusty containers and spray bottles, none of them which you recognize. They all feel like antiques, but they're the best you have. Armed with a rag and a trash bag, you set to work. It is a monumental task, and it nauseates you to think about just how many years of caked up dirt, grunge, and former fluids you have to scrub away to return some semblance of normalcy to the bathroom. That might be as much as you can do without a pressure washer and renovations. But at least taking showers won't make you feel dirtier than when you started. But your admiration of a job adequately done is interrupted by the sudden, heavy thunk, thunk, thunk of a metal door knocker, the sound seeming to reverberate its way down your spine. Someone is at the front door. Before you get the chance to decide whether or not to answer, it opens. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I didn't scare you. I've been thinking about what you went through all night. I brought some fresh tea. Let's settle in somewhere and talk. You and the old hippie make your way back to the kitchen. She gives one of Tabitha's few mugs a thorough rinse before pouring you steaming tea from her thermos. The smell is amazing, a nostalgic earthy odor reminiscent of fall, as if it was brewed with autumn leaves. You said you were a family friend? That I am. I used to know Vivian, in fact, before she left town. Maybe if you find yourself with time to kill one of these days, I could tell you unsavory tales of her youth. I was a little less close with Pearl Ann, not for lack of trying. She was quite the character, bless her, and may she rest in peace. You take a sip of the tea. It tastes not unlike a rotten log, but somehow isn't unpleasant. Like you're tasting a hike through down-dampened woods, it leaves a refreshing citrusy aftertaste. Like a cool breeze sweeping the leaves from the path the tea left on your tongue. I hope you like it. This is my new chaga and lemon balm blend. I love experimenting with local ingredients. Is there any news about Duke? His family has been notified. That's as much as I know. Poor Duke. He was a good man. But I fear his death is merely a sign of more tragedy to come, which I suppose brings us to what I came to talk to you about. You went through quite the ordeal last night and are holed up alone in what, well, bless her heart, but Tabitha hasn't exactly reclaimed this place since Pearl Ann passed. I feel like I'm inhaling cobwebs. I wanted to check in on you. How are you holding up, dear? Really? Why do you want to know? because somebody needs to worry about you. And not in the way your cousin does. She's a very practical woman, that one, but not the most open to matters of the heart. I don't know how I'm doing. So much has already happened and I've only been here for a day. Well, if it's any consolation, there's a sound somewhere above you, a creaking floorboard betraying a shifting presence. There is something in the room above you. You heard that too, didn't you? You know, dear, I was planning to stop by the mines for a quick chat with your cousin. Maybe it'd be a good idea if you came along. I don't like the thought of you being alone in this big house. Not with the town the way it is right now. There's another creak from above. Leaving suddenly seems like a very good idea. Do you think this place is haunted? If it is haunted, I wouldn't doubt you'd find out as soon as you were here alone for too long. It sounds to me like whatever might be here is already restless to have you to itself. I was kind of hoping to go back to town, but if you're already going that way, I guess I can do that after seeing Tabitha. Wonderful. Let's go. Yeah, neither one of us wants to stay here. Because who the hell is upstairs? Neither of you waits around to see if the sounds will continue. You quickly make your way back to the door and out into the inviting autumn air. You're once again surprised by the freshness of the mountain breeze, your lungs having grown accustomed to the stale, dusty air of the estate, not realizing how much they were being suffocated. At least it's a pleasant day for a walk. It really is nothing like the mountains in autumn. There is something comforting about this woman's presence. She eludes a warmth, her smile feeling like kindly approval, even though you feel you've done nothing to earn it. Were you born here? How did you wind up in this town? My family's been in these hills for generations, possibly even longer than yours. I married into the general store, though. Before that, we were just your standard hill folk, kept to ourselves, fended for ourselves. That's why I know so much about the local flora. That kind of knowledge was vital for all the generations that came before me to survive out here. What do you think of Stella? Such a ray of sunshine. Even with everything that's happened to her, she tries to smile through it all. An admirable young woman, if you ask me. So is there a Mr. Sybil? There was, but unfortunately he passed about a year and a half ago, give or take. Life up in the hills can be hard on people for all kinds of reasons, even if you never step foot in the mines. What do you think of Tabitha? She works too hard, but I suppose that's the burden she carries with your family's mind to run. It can't be doing her any good, though. I'm sure that has something to do with her disposition. Bless her heart. She's clearly got more to say. She's just being polite. Right, I know what bless her heart means. That's such a country saying of being like, she's a character. Yeah, I know what bless her heart means. Out with it. What do you really think? I already said it, and I meant it. I worry for her. Sybil's a worthy foe on the battlefield of social niceties. Do you know much about my family? Any history I should know about? Oh yes, everyone around here knows quite a bit about your family. You founded the town after all. Your family and the history of this town are completely intertwined. Your well, I don't know how many greats that would be. Some distant grandfather of yours started the mine, which started the town. The town nearly collapsed into ruin after the collapse of 1918. And once again, your family pulled it back up. Now, here we are. I'm not sure what else there is to say. What do you want to know? I'm surprised we don't own yeah, that's a good one. I'm surprised my family doesn't own the general store. It seems like the sort of thing the founders of a mining town would want to control. That's a bit of a touchy subject. My husband's family has owned the store since the 20s or so, and the Scarlets have been trying to buy it off of them ever since. That continues to this very day. I know it's a big reason why my daughter is reluctant to leave town as much as she's always saying she will. Did you know Tabitha owns most of the houses around here? If she owned the general store too, well, Scarlet Hollow would be 2 steps away from a company town. I don't think Kanika likes that thought very much. Is it really just me and Tabitha? Why are there so few of us left? I suppose fate is crueler to some than to others. In a lot of ways, your family has been very fortunate. But the Scarlets have seen their fair share of death as well. Maybe more than their fair share? The collapse? You're talking about the mines, right? That's right. The town lost so many souls that day, men and boys. This was before child labor laws went into effect in these parts. As if the collapse wouldn't have been bad enough tragedy on its own, there had to be children involved. You might have seen the mural in the library. I'm sure if you ask about it, Oscar would be happy to fill you in on any more details you might want to know. The tall and short of it is, there was another man working for your family who took the brunt of the town's anger, Charles Shaw. Something about some damaged struts he approved. They ran him out on a rail, or so they say. It seems your family avoided most of the blame, especially since they managed to pull the town back together afterwards. Hard to remember to be angry at someone when they're the reason you've got food on the table. That big house, we must have been loaded. Do you still think we're loaded? It's really not my place to speculate on people's finances. But you've seen the state of the place. I think that speaks for itself. So our mine is the whole reason this town exists? I'd say so. If it fails, I'm not sure anybody would stick around for long. That being said, I suppose everything has to end eventually. One shouldn't plan on things to continue on exactly the same forever. Is there a church in town? I feel like I could use some religion right about now. Yes, though it's not exactly in the best condition. It's a very, very old building. I don't think any pastor has been able to keep up with the kind of maintenance it needs. Not many people go up there. No one seems to want to pray in a church that's threatening to fall in on them. My daughter also says she finds the current pastor creepy, but I think he's a nice enough young man. Just struggles with people, which isn't the best position to find yourself in if your job is people. So he's not charismatic? Is that what you're saying? You walk with the kindly, gray-haired woman in silence. She was a wealth of knowledge, though, thank goodness. She was right. There was very little time to reach the Scarlet Hollow mines. A humble exterior greets you at the place that made your family its fortune. Surprisingly enough, your cousin just happens to be at the gates. But it seems you aren't the only visitor she's dealing with at the moment. This is ridiculous. You can't fire me for having a damn cold. There's got to be some kind of, rights violation. You aren't fired, Terrence. You're laid off. Cutbacks had to be made, and obviously I'm going to prioritize those cutbacks on workers who have a habit of missing shifts. I had mono. I was puking my guts out. I couldn't crawl my sorry ass into that pit. And you wouldn't have wanted me there anyways. You only give us 3 days a year to get sick. It's a shit system. You don't have a note from a doctor. I can't just take you at your word. If you wanted extra sick days, you could have had them with the proper paperwork. Don't forget, by not showing up, you put extra pressure on your coworkers to pick up your slack. And that's not fair to them. And if you have a tendency to get sick like that, you probably shouldn't be working in a place like this to begin with. As for your lodgings, I'll give you 2 weeks to move out. To hell with you and your damn mind and the shit house you had me living in. It's all better off as a heap of rubble. The miner kicks the dirt in the final act of frustration, but wanders off, leaving Tabitha standing steadfast at the gates. Sybil? Bree? What are you doing here? I wanted to have a word with your cousin here, and I had some business with you as well. Though it looks to me like you're busy, I wouldn't want to impose. Why don't you drop by the tea room sometime this week, Tabitha? Yeah, sure. I'll swing by tomorrow. Wonderful. I'll be on my way, but it was lovely catching up, Bree. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other around town. That woman finally leaves, and you're alone with your cousin once again. Well, so much for you not intruding on my work. Come on, I guess I'll babysit you in my office. Just don't make yourself a burden, all right? I have a lot to do today. Tabitha, this is urgent. Sybil said the things I saw last night are an omen of impending doom. Something very bad is going to happen in this town. Sybil says a lot of things. She's one of those tea leaf reading fortune teller types. I really wouldn't take her vague warnings seriously. Don't get yourself all worked up about what some old lady told you about the end times or whatever she's going on about. I think there's a presence in your house, Tabitha. A presence? Like what? A ghost? Just because it's a creepy old house doesn't mean it's haunted. Not even Stella thinks it's haunted. Or she'd be banging down my door to film some video in my house. In a building as old and big as the estate, there's gonna be noises. It shifts in the wind. Doors slam on their own. Get used to it. I don't need you running out here every time you hear a creaking floorboard. What was all that layoff stuff about? That's nothing you have to worry about. Running a business isn't sunshine and roses. In fact, it's almost never sunshine and roses. I cleaned the guest bathroom. You what? But there could have been important stuff in there. Sure, it was messy, but it's not like it was unsanitary or anything. Who gave you the right to throw things away just because they look like trash to you? I don't appreciate people coming into my space and moving things around. Don't try to be helpful again. Got it? It was a health hazard. It was disgusting. As if. Pearl Ann used that bathroom up until the day she died. And besides the sleep apnea, she was fine. Whatever, hopefully you learned your lesson and we won't have to have this conversation again after you throw away precious family heirlooms thinking they're trash. Tabitha clears her throat, clearly still seething, but trying to cover it back up. I have to get back to work. Try not to bother me. I need to concentrate. She returns to her place behind the desk and proceeds to ignore you. As you settle in, you take the detail of her office. You're surprised to see a poster of what looks like Stella. She has apparently been banned from the mines. Stella isn't the only likeness captured on the walls of your cousin's trailer. On either side of Tabitha's desk are portraits of older people, a woman and an old-timey man. A gunshot hangs menacingly over the desk. Besides that, there's not much else to see. You can ask a lot of questions here. Are the miners working in the same mine that collapsed? Did they really have to dig out people's bodies? No. That particular shaft has been boarded up ever since. Most of the bodies weren't able to be recovered, not without the risk of making more. This is a difficult line of work. The men all know that. Do your workers only get 3 days off? Do they get vacations? Or I don't need to discuss the intricacies of how I run my business with you. I'm the one making decisions because I'm the one who knows what needs to be done for this place to stay running. And I don't need someone who's never run so much as a startup to try to tell me how I should be operating. It's not like I can take any time off either. I'd kill for 3 days. Why is there a poster of Stella saying she's banned from your property? Stella likes to poke around in places she shouldn't. She kept sneaking up here to film videos or whatever her excuse was. As if that's not a lawsuit waiting to happen. So she's banned. What's with the gun? It's Pearl Ann's. She put it there to intimidate people. Always thought it was a little old-fashioned, but if it works, it works. You wouldn't have to ask about it if it didn't leave an impression on you. God, you really talk a lot, don't you? Who are those people on the wall? I'm sure you'd recognize Pearl Ann at this point. And the other one was Enoch, our great-great-grandfather, who saved the mine from ruin after the collapse. The idea was to have all the family members who owned the mines up on the wall, but I don't think Pearl Ann was excited to have great-grandma Eddie staring down at her all day. So we're missing one. Can't blame her. I remember that woman well enough to remember why she wouldn't want the reminder. You never call Pearl Ann Mom. I'm an adult. I don't cling onto the dynamics of childhood. Damn, is she dead inside? I learned that there's a big mine collapse up here once. Do you think something like that might happen again? Of course not. It only happened because of someone else's negligence. We don't make those kind of mistakes, especially not with our current mining technology. Our family trusted a man who we shouldn't, Charles Shaw. He cut corners, used cheap and damaged materials. People died because of him. So we never hired someone else from outside the family to help run this place ever again. And what would you know? We've never come close to having another collapse. I might be what people consider a tough boss, but I run a tight ship, and that's how you avoid accidents. I really admire your leadership with that guy earlier. Yes, I'm good at my job. The Scarlets have cultivated generations of a certain kind of management style that has gotten the mine through some very difficult times. You can't just let people run all over you. Grandma Eddie learned that from Enoch, and she instilled it in Pearl Ann. Pearl Ann instilled it in me. Vivian couldn't cut it. She would have been terrible at this. And then the sounds of the machinery are joined by another sound, the angry rumblings of your stomach. Let's take a lunch break. What? Are you hungry? I thought I left you food at the estate. Why didn't you eat before coming out here? Ugh, I can't believe I have to worry about a whole nother person's food schedule. Like I'm your mom or something. If you really can't wait, then go find something at the cafeteria. It's the building with the big cafeteria sign on it. Try not to get lost. Oh, and bring me back something too while you're at it. They have a mac and cheese I don't hate. You get up, leave Tabitha's office, and once again step out into the fresh air. Cafeteria sign is not as obvious as Tabitha made it out to be. All the gray, crunged buildings look vaguely the same. You're not quite sure what direction you should start heading in. Let's ask for help. You approach the nearest group of miners. You could cut to the chase and ask where the cafeteria is, but you are here among the workers unsupervised. What's the harm in asking if they've seen anything unusual? You got a reason to be bothering us? So I met this guy on the bus, wore a beanie and said I want to, yeah. He said he has some friends working the mines up here. A lot of people wear beanies. He also talked about how he used to push joggers into the Baltimore Harbor. Does that ring any bells? None. Not a clue. Yeah, I think I remember someone like that. Seen anything weird lately? The miners look you up and down. Weird how? Like weird animal sightings. Nope. You've been talking to that townie? The one that boss gave a lifetime ban to? Yeah, she's like a Bigfoot YouTuber or something. Her videos are actually pretty good. But now that I think about it, it's pretty weird. I haven't been seeing many animals at all lately. Used to be, I'd see all sorts of critters. Now it's mostly birds. This is your first year up here, ain't it? Just not used to the seasons changing. All the animals are hibernating. That's all. I don't know. She's got a point. I've been up here 5 years now, and it's never been like this. Ha, maybe it's that global warming then. I think they're calling it climate change now. I got a couple other questions. I'm looking for the cafeteria. I'm gonna do you a favor and not tell you where it is. Oh, come on, Zax. Go easy on her. I'm going easy on her. The calf is slop. You're better off grabbing a bite from the diner, the only good establishment in town. I don't know, the mac and cheese is pretty decent. The mac and cheese is the only thing that's decent, and we all know why that is. Come on, let's get out of here. Our shift's about to start anyways. So much for getting a straight answer. The cafeteria remains a hidden treasure, and you remain without a map. Let's see if I can find someone else. Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin, can we help you with something? How do you know I'm Tabitha's cousin? We saw you walk in with her. Oh, that's fair. Y'all know this guy I met on the bus? He said he has some friends up here. Maybe. What's he like? You tell the group of miners about your encounter on the bus yesterday. I think I probably remember someone like that. Yeah, he's no friend of mine, that's for sure. Never met him. Don't know him. Have you fellas seen anything out of the ordinary lately? Like what? Have you seen any weird animals? Don't tend to go on many hikes. Not exactly the nature seeing type. After a full day of work, all I see is my bed. Maybe a few beers in between. That's all on that front, thanks. Anything else? I'm trying to find a cafeteria. Oh, sure, it's right over by... It's hard to find. I'll take you. Sure, get your brownie points. Later, man. Come on, let's walk. The hard-faced young man starts walking along with you, an anxious energy in his step, and he escorts you to a building whose cafeteria sign was definitely much smaller than Tabitha made it out to be. You line up at the steamy piles of subpar food, undoubtedly made as cheaply as possible, judging by your cousin's business practices. Still, it smells good enough, and you find your mouth watering in anticipation of the bland offerings. So you're up in the big house with the boss this week. I just wanted to know if you see anything strange while you've been staying there. The man's voice is quiet and nervous, like a mining jacket. Is there anyone up there with you? A man, maybe? Last name Wayne? Why do you ask? Because Sam Wayne went missing over a week ago, and nobody's asking any questions about it. And I'm willing to bet the last person who saw him alive was your... Ugh, are we talking about a certain young man who may or may not have caught the boss's eye? That Sam Wayne fellow, wasn't it? Whatever. If anyone asks, we never talked. Got it? I don't want to disappear too. Isaac obviously has more to say, but this isn't the right time or place to coax more information out of him. As he turns to leave, you scribble your phone number on a slip of paper. Hey, thanks for the help. You reach forward towards Isaac's and shake his hand, pressing your note to his palm. Don't mention it. And then he's gone. Whatever got that kid so jumpy? It's like he's never heard of a guy running off because he got broken up with before. Yep, I skipped town over less. Oh, it's my lucky day. They got chicken and dumplings. I'm gonna take the food and go. You step back out into the weak sunlight, clutching the containers of various beige slop, and start making your way back towards her trailer. But you don't make it far. Something stops you. A strange uneasiness. A feeling of being watched. The smell of sick flesh. I wish you could have stayed at the estate. It's dangerous here. Oh, hey, some buddy of yours was looking for you. The figure, Wayne, doesn't respond to this. It's fight or flight, and this time your body decided to fight. You lunge at the figure, only for him to swiftly dodge your blow and throw you to the ground. You don't have to be afraid of me. I'm the only person in this town who truly cares about your safety. Don't forget that. Even if it's already too late to stop what's going to happen. Yeah, where were you when I was being attacked by that mountain lion? I would have stepped in if the old man hadn't beaten me to it. Clearly, I need to be closer to you. And he just disappears. Okay, we're definitely going back. Yep. You find yourself running as if pursued, holding on to the cafeteria food for dear life, your heart beating fast and desperate. Tabitha meets you at the door. Took you long enough? What? Was there a long line? Tabitha, this Wayne guy keeps following me. I don't know what to tell you. Look, I'm sure if you ask around about him, you'll hear some rumors. Especially from my employees. They like to gossip. There was a man named Sam Wayne who worked here for a spell. Then he disappeared. It happens all the time in this line of work. People show up for work from out of town and then they disappear one day after getting paid. I don't know what happened to the man. I didn't even know if he was still alive. But of course, my workers blame me for him running off. Whatever, it's easy to blame the mean boss for that kind of thing. If you see him around, that's news to me. But also none of my business, because he is no longer. Your cousin's attention is suddenly drawn elsewhere. She stares past you, focusing on something in the distance. Is that Stella? How many times do I have to tell her she's banned before she understands what that means? Tabitha shuts the door and you both march your way down the hill. As you and Tabitha approach Stella, the two old-timers notice and wander off. Oh, Tabitha, Bree, hey, I was just trespassing. Well, yeah, but I have a good reason this time. Shit, I knew we needed to look out. There's someone talking to you through an earpiece. Kanika, is that you on the other end? Stella hastily removes her earpiece, muffling the other voice. Sorry, Tabby, it's just that Oscar's kid, Rosalina, has been missing since yesterday. So we decided to ask around to see if anyone's seen her. And while we were at it, we were also seeing if anyone had encountered these things we saw in the woods last night. Ditchlings. The Sibyls are like little Mothmen foretelling doom. Stella. And also, there's this guy called Wayne who used to work here and who Kanika says is super creepy and sick. And Stella, yeah? Just stop talking. It's not that I was filming or anything. I'm barely here, I promise. You are standing right in front of me, extremely here. Why didn't you check the usual teen haunts for that kid? The Maxwell place, or the gas station, or whatever. Anywhere but here, where you were explicitly not allowed to be. I mean, it's the site of one of the worst catastrophes that have ever befell the town. If there's another one coming, it makes sense, doesn't it? That's what our research points us towards, at least. Our research? Who's we? You and Kanika? Yeah, she would think something awful is going to happen up here. She hates me and everything I would stand for, and thinks the town would be some bustling utopia if it wasn't around to ruin it. When in reality, we both know it wouldn't exist without me. Whatever you're looking for, you're barking up the wrong tree. So just go someplace else before Tabitha once again trails off. She and Stella have noticed a girl with the dark braid and glasses sneaking along the ridge. It's Rosalina! Kanika, we found her. She's headed up the hill. Up the hill? She's not headed for the old mine, is she? The one that collapsed? We better go after her before someone gets killed up there. You've got to be kidding me. No, this is great. I'll just go let her know Oscar is looking for her. Then we can get out of your hair. Bye, Tabby. See you around. Stella hurries after the girl, disappearing over the hill. Damn it. I'm never going to finish my spreadsheets. Nobody needs to be playing around in those mines. We better go break this up. So this is different from when we played Chapter 2 the first time. This time around, we're with our cousin. Last time we were with Kanika and Stella, trying not to get caught sneaking around up here. You can vaguely hear voices emanating from the boarded up entrance to the mine. They went in? Does Stella have no sense of preservation? We're going after them. Obviously. I don't like the thought of you walking around an old abandoned coal mine, but I'd rather not leave you out here unattended while it gets dark. You should be safe enough with me there to guide the way. Tabitha huffs her way up the mine entrance and disappears into the darkness. You follow her and enter the mine. The inside of the mine is warmer than you'd expect, the air thick and wet, the ceiling hangs much lower than you are tall, forcing you and Tabitha to hunch over, your legs bent in a painful squat as you begin to navigate its maze of corridors. I take it you know which mine we're in. This isn't the one that collapsed 100 years ago, is it? The one that killed a bunch of people? The one that killed 168 people. A man named Charles Shaw decided it was okay to use faulty wood for support struts, and the entire mine came down. It almost ruined my family. A lucky few died instantaneously, but for most of the souls who perished here, it was a slow and agonizing. Trapped under rubble and left to slowly succumb to crush injuries or burns, or dehydration. It took a week to clear out most of the rubble and recover the bodies. The few survivors who were dragged out were never the same. I can't say I blame them. I get it. It's dangerous down here. I'll be careful. Good. We don't want any more bodies to be buried down here. I've already got enough of those on my conscience. Tabitha's ruminations are interrupted by a thunderous knock echoing from deeper in the mine. It sounds like rocks shifting somewhere deeper in the mine. We should be careful. Have you not been careful up until this point? Did I not give you my whole tragedies of the past spiel for nothing? Come on, came from this way. Tabitha hastens her pace and quickly disappears deeper into the mine. You take a deep breath and follow suit. The deeper you progress into the mine, the heavier the air becomes. Coal dust hangs in the thick clouds around you, even though this place was abandoned over a century ago. Echoing through the tight corridors, you and Tabitha can pick up snippets of a tense argument. I can't believe your dad sent people to follow you. That's messed up. I think this qualifies as harassment. You're right, Becca, it is messed up. I don't need him telling me where I can be. You could at least check in so he knows you're not dead. He loves you and worries about you. He's really not asking for much. Come on, kiddos, there's some real spooky stuff going on in town right now. You shouldn't be hanging out down here. We're not kids. Yeah, we're teens. Well, you look like a bunch of kids to me. Are those canned strawberry margaritas? Where did you even get those? Oh no. I know that isn't you, Miles. It had better not be you. Yeah, whatever, it's me. What are you doing down here? Looks like we found our trespassers. I can't believe that Stella managed to drag Kanika out here. She avoids me like the plague. What's the deal with you and Kanika? Honestly, I have no idea. I don't hold anything against her, aside from the fact that she's always hated me. She probably just got jealous that Stella and I started spending time together. But that was years ago, so who knows? What do you think of Kanika? I think the two of us are more alike than she'd ever care to admit. No offense, but you're a little rough around the edges. That doesn't mean she has to give me a hard time. Have you tried talking to her? No. Even if I tried, it's not like she'd listen. Probably. Look, I've kind of given up on other people understanding me. It doesn't matter. Let's move on. They're close. You breathe a sigh of relief as the tight passageways give way to a small cavern. Within, a group of teens engage Stella and Kanika in a heated argument. All of them are too caught up in the moment to notice you or Tabitha approach. My dad is a foreman at the continuous mining facility, and he says they only abandoned this mine because there wasn't enough coal left. So it's actually really safe and we can hang out here whenever we want. Wait, Becca, I thought your dad was a charge hand. No, Alexis, he got promoted last month. Correction, your father was a foreman at the continuous mining facility. We'll see if he even has a job in the morning. What? Oh shit. Oh hey Tabby. And Bree. I guess you two cut up to us. 2 Scarlets in one place. What luck. Well, at least maybe you two can talk some sense into these kids. They clearly don't respect my authority. Hey, don't talk about us like we aren't here. Yeah, we can hear you. Alexis, don't butt in. I'm trying to make a point. Do none of you understand what a boarded up mine entrance is supposed to mean? It means closed, condemned, not fit for human use. Aw, come on, this place is way sturdy. Check it out. The teen with the beanie jumps up and slaps the strut on the ceiling. Oh, was that the knocking we were hearing earlier? Oh my god, Zane, cut it out. You're embarrassing us. I'm sorry for Zane's behavior. I don't think he realizes how extremely 8th grade it is to jump up and hit things. No offense, Rosalina. None taken, the other 8th graders are totally immature. Not like you, Rosalina. You're chill. And smart, too. Enough! The damage is already done. Now leave. I'm putting my mother in the ground this week. I don't have the patience to deal with children. I can't believe I actually agree with Tabitha about anything. This is the worst place I've ever seen in my entire life. And I would like to see the sun again before I die. Aw, come on, guys. Maybe it's not a big deal. We used to do dangerous things all the time. And I still do dangerous things now. Who are we to tell them where they can hang out? I don't know who you think you are in this situation, Stella, but I own this mine. It's entirely within my rights to tell them to leave. Much like it's entirely within my rights to tell you to leave. Was your lifetime ban from my mines not a clear enough message for you? Hell yeah, Tabitha, tear that sad 20-something to shreds. Hey, I'm defending you. And I'm not sad. Where'd you get that idea from? Running a clickbaity YouTube channel where you run around the woods chasing nothing is extremely sad. So she's sad. So what? Give it a few years and you'll be sad too. The passage of time is inescapable. Damn. Not hitting her with that existential crisis. I love that. It's like, look, we just want to give Rosalina a good time. Her home life sucks right now. Yeah, tell them about where you have to sleep, Rosalina. We've been living in the library for the past couple of weeks. Dad says we can't stay at our house. They've got a hot plate and a couple cots in one of the back rooms. It's actually a pretty sick setup. No, it isn't, Zane. Rosalina deserves better. I don't care about your home life. If you're gonna do your underage drinking, go do it in the woods. Just get off my property. Tabitha? Look, Rosalina, I'm sure Oscar has a good reason for all that. He's a good guy, and he cares about you. He thinks our house is haunted. Oh. Wait, what? And I should care because it's such a bullshit excuse. I bet he couldn't afford it anymore, and he's lying to save face. What a coward. Becca, I don't think you can, say that about other people's families. Isn't that like bullying or something? Shut up, Zane. Back up. He said it's haunted? I can't believe he didn't mention it to me. I could investigate. There's no ghost, Stella. It would be cool if there was, but Becca's right. I just wish he'd be honest with me and tell me what's really going on. It's like he doesn't think I can handle it. Like I'm still a little kid. Ugh, you're all children. And none of you realize how good you have it. Back in the day, each and every one of you would be pulling 12-hour shifts in this exact mine. If it wasn't for child labor laws, the 5 of you might actually have character. Exactly. Rosalina's not that mature anyways. She still sleeps with stuffed animals. That doesn't mean she's not mature. I still have pork chop, you know. I rest my case. Wait, what did you say about child labor? I'm sure Oscar is doing this to protect you. From what? Even if the ghosts were real, what would they even do? Yell boo in your face? Yeah, that's real scary. It totally justifies living in a dusty old library. Yo, we should break in and like ghost bust it or something. My god, Zane, you can't ghost bust if there is no ghost. Also, Rosalina lives there. She can't break into her own house. There's no ghost that you know of. I bet we could figure out how to bust it if it's actually real. And if it isn't real, well, problem solved. You know, Rosalina, you can always stay over at my house until Stella ghost busts your place. We have a finished basement with a pull-out couch. Why are we talking about this like it's a thing? It's not a thing. There is no ghost. I don't care. And I can't believe I've wasted this much time trying to argue with children. I'm washing my hands of this and calling the cops. Feel free to leave before they show up. You hear that, Miles? We're leaving. I suggest the rest of you kids leave this empty mine before someone gets black lung or crushed by rocks or meets any one of the terrible fates people tend to meet in abandoned mines. Kanika is interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks. That wasn't me, I swear. Then what was it? Come on, Stella, didn't you have a list of perfectly natural explanations for scary mine noises? It's Tommy knockers, for sure. I know this isn't why we came down here, but we gotta check it out. They're an old Cornish myth named for the knocking sound you can sometimes hear in a mine right before a collapse. Sometimes they say the knocking's a warning, while others say it's the spirits themselves bringing down the mines. Stella? I mean, that's not all they do. Sometimes they're just mischievous. Stella? I know, but weird stuff's been happening around here the past few days. What if this is our chance to get an actual solid lead? The stakes couldn't be higher. Do you have no sense of self-preservation? I want you out of here, Stella. Oh, come on, Tabby. You can come along too. If you guys are going to do something spooky, count me in. No one's going deeper into the mines. Nobody is staying in the mine. You're all leaving. Please listen to Tabitha before my heart gives out. It'll be fun, Neeks. It will not. Wait a second. Where'd three of you run off to? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. Wow, Kanika. Maybe if you weren't still scared of the dark or whatever, you would have noticed them sneaking off. I noticed them sneaking off, and I've been zoning out the whole time we've been here. Ugh, they must have squeezed through that child-sized tunnel. Dang, I've always wondered where that goes. I've never been able to get these hips through there. Stella, stop sneaking into my mines. Please, I'm literally begging you. If only all the tunnels down here were wide enough for adults, we'd already be done with this little mess. But no, there just have to be remnants from a bygone era. Didn't you just talk about how child labor was the good old days a minute ago? I was trying to get you to leave my mine. Becca's head pops out from the tunnel's entrance. We are not about to let you come in here and ruin our good time. The mine is safe. I've been here 1,000,000 times. Yeah, if Becca says we're safe, then we're totally safe. Whatever, come on you two. I know a cool spot this way. Okay, I think I know where that tunnel rejoins the rest of the mines. I'll go look for them. I want each and every one of you to take note of the fact that I'm doing that. If those idiots get themselves lost and die, I am not letting their family sue me into the ground. Are those really your priorities right now? Yeah, do you have a problem with that? I want the rest of you out of my mine. Except for you, Bree. I'm not letting you out of my sight. Yeah, sure. I can never fit in that tunnel anyways. They crossed the barrier that I cannot, so my time here is up. But only because Stella promised me a ghost hunt tomorrow. Whatever, I still have my dailies. I still have to do my dailies anyways, and the service down here sucks. I will happily escort these two knuckleheads out. No, you are not about to weasel your way into this, Stella. Aw, come on, Tabby. I've been down here a ton. I could totally help out. Ugh, there's no getting rid of you, is there? Fine, I won't waste my time arguing. I've heard a lot of stories about cave rescuers needing their own rescues. Are we biting off more than we can chew? Should we get some professionals down here? I am a professional, and I prefer to resolve this without word getting out, if possible. Again, I don't want to deal with angry parents trying to sue me for their own negligence. Inspiring. Oh, don't worry, Bree. It'll be fun and safe. Fun and safe? Like last night? Give me a break, Stella. Tabitha, don't push Stella away like that. She hasn't done anything to deserve it. Ugh, not you too. I said she could tag along, didn't I? What's the big deal? It's alright, Bree. Tabby's just a bit of a curmudgeon. I'm coming along with you, but it's because I want to come along, not because you're making me. I just want that to be clear. Noted. Let's not linger any longer than we have to, shall we? Want me to take Gretchen with me? I don't know if it'd be easier to cover more ground without her. Yeah, it's probably for the best. I don't want a repeat of last night, and who knows if we'll have any climbing to do. I'll see you on the other side. Hopefully soon. For sure, we won't be long. Cool, can't wait to bust some ghosts tomorrow. Kanika, Miles, and Zane head towards the entrance of the mine, leaving you, Tabitha, and Stella to find the remaining teens. Alright, no dawdling. We should be able to catch up with them if we go this way. You and Stella exchange a glance as Tabitha ventures forward. As the three of you move deeper into the mine, you hear echoes of conversation bounce across the walls. Becca, why are we doing this again? I thought you thought Tabitha was like really cool. Why are you trying to get her all mad? We're doing this because Tabitha is really cool. She doesn't let anyone boss her around, so we can't just let her boss us around. Aw, you hear that, Tabby? Somebody thinks you're cool. I can't believe she used to hang out with a nobody like Stella. Hey, I don't know. I think Stella's kind of cool. Her videos are really neat. Oh, come on. She doesn't even have a sponsor. What kind of YouTuber doesn't have a sponsor? I mean, not yet, but I'm in talks with Meat Rice. I make plenty from ads and donations. Thanks, Stella. Meat Rice? That's a big deal. They're like on every podcast. Thank you. Thank you. It feels like a really big step for the channel. How does it feel to have a teen girl think you're cool, Tabitha? I feel nothing about it. The opinions of children don't interest me. I don't know. You kind of hesitated there. You're reading into things that aren't there, Stella. Just because your livelihood revolves around what people think of you doesn't mean that I care about what people think of me. Congratulations on your sponsor, though. You quietly press on. Another knock, closer, interrupts your thoughts, followed by another, followed by another. Is it just me, or is that knocking coming from the same direction as those kids? It's not just you. Okay, that knocking's starting to freak me out. Calm down, Rosalina. It's just mind sounds. Did you guys see that? No, it's just a shadow. There's no reason to get freaked out. I saw it. Shut up. There's nothing down here. Stop trying to scare me. That sounds just like the active mind echoing through the walls, right? Nah, it's Tommy knockers. I'm sure of it. No, it's not Tommy knockers. That being said, it's also definitely not the active mind. We use a machine these days, and it sounds nothing like that. Probably just rocks falling somewhere deeper in the mine, which is also bad for obvious reasons. We're getting closer. Let's keep moving. As you progress deeper into the mine, the knocking grows more frequent. It's still distant, but it's much louder than before. The tunnel ends abruptly in front of you. A century-old ladder is the only way forward. In the darkness beyond, you can still hear the echoes of terrified teens, their panicked arguing bouncing down the pitch-black corridors. And here we are. The tunnel they crawled through passes through the chamber below. It shouldn't be hard to find them once we get down there. I've never been this far in. Congratulations, Stella. You got what you wanted. Tabitha crawls up the ladder and disappears over its edge. Alright, let's do this. Stella hoists herself over the edge and begins to climb down. You walk to the ladder and climb down. I'm pretty sure this is the way back. Come on. Pretty sure? I thought you've been down here before. Okay, maybe I didn't get this far in. But whatever, it doesn't matter. I definitely remember the way out. Hurry, I don't want to be down here anymore. I think it was actually this way. Oh, shut up. No one even wanted you to come with us anyway. Becca? Yeah, they're close, alright. Good thing they're so goddamn loud. Sounds like they're really lost. The voices around you, those of the teens and your companions, sound odd, distant. There's something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it. You don't hear it, but you can feel it in your chest. A desperate need to perceive and be perceived. Hey, are you alright, Bree? What do you think you're doing? Get away from there. Your cousin dives towards you, but not before the light from your phone illuminates the chamber. Bree, are you alright? Oh, thank God, you're alive. Look like you had a seizure or something, and then you and Tabby just conked out. I'm fine. Ugh. You can barely open your eyes. You're not fine. Neither of you move a muscle. I don't want you straining yourselves while you're still recovering from whatever that was. I'm gonna get you both some help. I'll be back soon, I promise. You fade back out of consciousness as your companion clambers out of the pit, intent on your rescue. You raise up on your elbows, head still swimming from the visions, your surroundings coming back into focus. Your head throbs as the knocking continues, now magnitudes more intense than ever. Through it, you once again hear the panicked voices of bickering teenagers echoing down the stone corridors. Becca, you're just getting us more lost. It's this way. If you're so sure, then why don't you just leave? I can't believe I let Alexis talk me into inviting you in the first place. Becca, I'm just trying to help. I said go. Okay, I will. Alexis, you don't have to go with her. You know that, right? Pick a side, Alexis. I'm sure Becca knows where we're going. She wouldn't just lie. Sorry, Rosalina. The increasingly desperate voices of the teens are drowned out by this thunderous knocking. You can practically feel the ground shaking beneath you. You can almost see the walls vibrate with the intensity of the hellish sound. God, that knocking is not helping my headache. What the hell just happened? Those kids are lost. Forget about them, we're leaving. Rosalina appears in the passageway to your left, out of breath and teary-eyed. I'm so sorry I snuck off like that. I just wanted Alexis to think I was cool. The entire cavern shakes with the sound of rockfall. I don't know what the hell is up with this knocking, but that's the sound of the mine collapse. Quick, up that ladder, both of you. Wait, Becca and Alexis are still down there. You can't just leave them here. I know which way they were going. They'll listen to you this time, I promise. Do you have a death wish, little girl? This isn't a movie. The best thing we can do to help those girls right now is not to be buried alive ourselves. Two very hard choices. Not sure what to do. We can take Rosalina and leave. We can go after Becca and Alexis. Oh, it doesn't show us our decisions. We gotta go get the girls. Ugh, we better not die from this. Okay, let's do this. Bree, don't do this to me. I'm not leaving unless everyone leaves. Are you serious? Thank you. They're back this way. Hurry. Rosalina runs back the way she came. Gotta follow her. You run after her. The mine shakes with each new thunderous blow as bits of rock and dust fall from the ceiling and scatter on the floor around you. Rosalina leads the way and Tabitha isn't far behind you. I thought you knew the way out. I thought you'd been down here a million times already. I was making it up, okay? I swear to God, Brie, if we get stuck down here... I'm not gonna say anything. You say nothing, focused on following Rosalina as she darts ahead. We're coming! Just stay where you are! Rosalina, you came back. I don't want to die down here. Then move! Oh my... Hurry! Haul ass! We don't have time. Okay. You quickly push your way back towards the entrance, pieces of fallen rock littering the path around you. All of you, start climbing. Now! Once the last teen is up, Tabitha grabs onto the ladder and starts climbing. You follow suit and start climbing. This way, come on! Your cousin moves with the kind of swiftness you'd expect from someone who spent her entire life working in and around coal mines. Why couldn't you just listen to someone other than yourself, Becca? I'm sorry, okay? God. You push forward, your burning muscles giving way to pure adrenaline. To your horror, you can see cracks forming on the walls of the tunnel. Come on, we gotta go faster. We're almost there. I can see the entrance. Your surroundings quake as the mine collapses around you. And then the knocking fades and you feel safe, having arrived back at the entrance in one piece. What the fuck? What the fuck? Rosalina, are you okay? Clearly she's not okay, idiot. Shut up, Becca. It was your idea to go down there in the first place. This is your fault. Shit. Why? Why did this have to happen? Okay, the knocking stopped at least. All of you stay exactly where you are. I'm gonna make some calls. This really hurts. Stella and Kanika popped their head through the mine entrance. Tabitha just stormed out of there. Are you... Oh my God. Rosalina, can you hear me? We're gonna get you out of here, okay? Stella already called an ambulance. But that means cops are gonna come. They're gonna know I was drinking. They're gonna know we went in there to drink, right? Becca, that doesn't matter. If my dad finds out, he'll kill me. He can't know. Becca squirms through the gap in the boards and scampers away. Don't worry about her, Rosalina. She's just being an asshole. One of us should wait by the gate to make sure they find us up here. I should check in with Tabby, see if she needs any help. We're gonna get you help. Everything's gonna be okay. All right, I'll go down to the gate. Rosalina, I'm so sorry. I'll be back soon. We're gonna get you out of here and you're gonna be just fine, okay? Bree and Alexis will keep you safe until then. Am I gonna die? Rosalina, don't say things like that. No way. I've seen people bounce back from worse. Which is true. She only got a crushed leg. They may or may not be able to save from the knee down, but she's alive. Thanks, Bree. Rosalina's breath comes in quick, irregular bursts. If I don't make it, tell my dad I'm sorry. I'm the one who has something to be sorry about. This is all me and Becca's fault. We never should have gone down there. It's not your fault. I went down there because I wanted to. Rosalina pauses, catching her breath. Thank you, Bree. I'm glad everyone else made it out okay. Couldn't have done it without your help. Alexis is right. You're very mature for your age. Worrying about others at a time like this, you're more brave than a lot of adults I know. That's true, Rosalina. You're really brave. Braver than I am and smarter. If I hadn't stuck with Becca, maybe, I don't know, maybe it would have been different. It's just not fair that this happened to you. You're the nicest person I know. Rosalina? Still awake, just hurts like hell. Sorry, I shouldn't be pushing you to talk. I'll just hold your hand till they come back with help, okay? Alexis grasped Rosalina's hand. Tears streaked down both of their cheeks as you sit in silence together, waiting for the long, anxious moments to pass before help arrives. Some of my men are on their way with rock lifts. We'll get you out of here soon. They're over here, Earl. Jesus H. Christ, you weren't kidding about the emergency. It'll still be a bit for the ambulance. The nearest depot is over in Brevard, so it'll be at least another half hour. You heard the man. You got half an hour to get her out of there. Move it. Rosalina, sweetie, I'm here. Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You don't have to be sorry. It's okay. We're all here. You can hang on, Rosalina. I know you can. Tabitha's men quickly get to work and manage to pull Rosalina out from the rubble just as the ambulance arrives. Sir, I'm afraid there's no space in the bag. What do you mean? I can't ride with her? You're better off driving behind us. We're headed to Brevard, so it's quite a ways. Is she gonna be okay? She's gonna make it, right? Please, God. Yes, sir, I promise you we're gonna do everything we can to keep her stable. Her vitals are looking good. Rosalina, my poor baby, I'll be there as fast as I can, okay? I promise you won't be alone. I love you, Dad. The paramedics load Rosalina in the back of the ambulance and drive off. Rosalina approaches you off to the side as the police talk to Tabitha and her men. What the hell happened in there? Oscar, I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's okay. At least nobody died. What happened, though? Just teens being teens. We did our best to get them out of there. No. This was no teenager's fault. It's a parent's job to make sure their kids don't deliberately put themselves in these situations. Rosalina was mad at me, and instead of fixing the thing that was driving her away, I just ignored it. This was my fault. Oscar, I'm the parent here. I'm sure she thinks I'm making things up about our house being haunted, but I've seen things I can't explain, and it's only gotten worse over time. She told us about it down in the mine. For what it's worth, I believe you. No comment, but after tonight, I don't know. Once you're back from the hospital, we can check it out for you. Thanks, Stella. That means a lot. I've got to go. Mr. Gutierrez, is it okay if I come too? I want to be there for her. Of course, Alexis. It'll be good for her to see a friendly face. The two of them head over to Oscar's car and drive off. Do you think Rosalina's going to be okay? The paramedic said she was stable. She's a tough kid. She'll be okay. There was a stone carving on the wall of that pit. It gave me some sort of vision. I saw what happened to this place. Are you sure you didn't just hallucinate? You were at the bottom of an old mine. I don't know, Neeks. You weren't down there. Bree and Tabby had, simultaneous seizures next to a creepy stone carving. It was like something out of a movie. What happens now? What happens now? We go home. Now, hold on a minute, Miss Scarlet. Mind if we have a quick word with your cousin, miss, in private? Okay, fine. Just be quick about it. And don't you dare try and pull anything on her. She did nothing wrong here. Ladies, I'm afraid that means you too. Don't you need to talk to us? We witnessed this too. Oh, sure, but that can wait. We know where to find y'all. I'm Sheriff Hugby, and this is Deputy Dirksen, but you can call me Earl. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Welcome to the Scarlet Hollow. Hope this little accident hasn't colored your perception of the place. Lovely place to live, if you ask me. Lovely indeed. Now, Sheriff Hugby, don't you find it a mite odd that these teens found themselves in an old abandoned mine on the very property Bree's family happens to own? And don't you think it's even a mite bit odder that Bree happened to be in there with them at the time of said collapse? I'd be lying if I said it weren't peculiar, though I'm sure you're an upright citizen, Bree, and all this is surely an unfortunate coincidence. Still, a good cop should ask himself these questions. We were chaperoning them. We knew they were looking for trouble and figured if we were there, we could help them avoid most of it. Oh, sure. Good to watch out for the younger folks. Could have kept them out of the mines, though, if you were supposed to be looking after them. But teens can be difficult, I understand. I'm a father of 2 teen girls myself. The things they get away with. After all this to say, from here on out, Bree, you should do your best to stay out of trouble. There's plenty to do around town that isn't spelunking around unstable mines. I suggest you try to have an uneventful week. The only place I'm going to see your face again is the funeral on Sunday. God rest Pearl Ann. God rest her. Alrighty then, have a good one, Bree. Deputy Dirksen tips his hat to you. The 2 officers wander back towards the mine, Dirksen taking notes as they examine the scene. You make your way towards Stella and Kanika. I just can't believe 2 nights in a row. Is it my fault, Neeks? Stella, no. This is just an awful coincidence. It's not your fault. Oh, hey, guess the cops are done with you. What, are they going to take you in for being present at the accident? Sorry if they gave you a hard time. Small town cops, you know. Always blaming everything on drifters, even acts of God, I suppose. Excellent. You didn't get arrested. Now, come on, let's get back to the estate. I'd like to get some rest before I have to deal with the fallout of everything that happened tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, okay, Bree? Tomorrow? You've already ruined my evenings on 2 consecutive nights, Stella. What do you think you'll be doing with my cousin tomorrow? We're going ghost hunting at Oscar's, remember? We talked about it in the mines. You were there. I didn't think you were serious. Fine. If we're going to keep running into each other, we might as well have an open line of communication. I don't have Stella's number, so Bree, you should make sure you do. Sure. You give Stella your contact information. Don't worry, I'll only use this newfound power when it's truly urgent, like inviting you over for breakfast. Keep me posted on what she's doing. Let me know if Ghost Hunt actually happens. It's weird that you care about what she's doing so much. Clearly, I have to. Come on, let's go. Tabitha starts walking towards her car, pulling you by your arm. I'll text you when we're back. Yeah, why is she pulling us? Tabitha doesn't say a word as the car cuts along the darkened road. You try to keep your eye on the surrounding wilderness as she drives, wary of what might lurk behind the tree line. Sorry about today. Tabitha doesn't answer. You drop it. Tabitha's eyes remain fixated on the road. How are you holding up? Poorly, but I'd rather we didn't get into it. Poor Rosalina. Poor Oscar. He should have kept tighter reins on that girl. I never got into any trouble like this when I was a teen, and I had Pearl Ann to thank for it. Hated it at the time, but that strictness paid off. Ugh, what am I telling you this for? Whoa, are we bonding? I guess, sure. You're right, there are a lot of adults who should have done a better job tonight. Exactly. People who aren't ready to be parents shouldn't be parents, and there are some parents who aren't ready. Take the librarian. There are tons of people more qualified to be parents who can't even conceive, and here he is having a kid at 19 and clearly letting her do whatever the hell she wants. And look where that got her. Even if she doesn't lose the leg, she's going to carry what happened tonight for the rest of her life. It's not fair. Do you want kids? That seemed to struck a nerve. Lots of people want kids. Why do you treat Stella like that? Didn't you two used to be friends? It was a different time in my life. I just wish she'd get we're not in high school anymore. I'm a different person than whoever she thinks she knows. We'll ride in silence for the rest of that. Your eyes wander back to the tree line as you and Tabitha sink back into silence. You once again cross the threshold into the estate, the musty stench of the Kane mansion greeting you with its undertones of mildew and wood rot. Well, this day was a lot more stressful than it needed to be, and I'm sure this is the precursor of a horrifically stressful week. I'm going to bed. I suggest you do the same. Please, just talk to me. Tabitha closes her eyes for a moment and sighs. There's no point. At the end of this week, you'll go home and we'll never speak to each other again. We'll just have to get through this week. We can have a deeper relationship than that. It doesn't have to end with this week. I'm going to sleep. Good night. Tabitha turns and makes her way up the stairs, her posture defeated. You head up to your room to turn in. You collapse into Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. After your time in the Shaw mine, you barely even notice the dust. Your phone buzzes on the table. Y'all, these are those things, right? Kanika sends a picture of a pair of ditchlings by the side of the road. I saw them again, too. Another pair, this time of them staring from a tree. What the fuck? These things are definitely not hairless monkeys or raccoons or whatever. I don't know what the hell they are. I guess there's more to them being here than the mine collapse? No way am I sleeping tonight. You think about looking out the guest room window, but at this point, you're too exhausted to leave your bed. The adrenaline from this evening is finally wearing off, replacing by creeping exhaustion that threatens to overwhelm you. Your limbs feel heavy, your eyelids slipping down over your eyes, even as you stare down at the ominous pictures on your phone. If it weren't for the pit of dread balling in your stomach, you would almost feel comfortable as you settle in between the covers, your tired bones sinking into the decrepit mattress. When you close your eyes, you see Rosalina's face, twisted in pain, staring up at you now with tear-streaked cheeks. Trapped by powers beyond her control, terrified of her now uncertain future would hold. Your eyes shoot back open, your heart pounding as the door to your room swings open. Oh, this fucking cat. Just a cat. It's always a cat. It's nice to see another living being, even one as unfriendly as Tabitha's cat. The comfort of her presence sets your mind at ease, and you finally slip into a deep sleep. We should be asleep. Very cryptic. This is the end of episode 2. Episode 3 awaits. Proceed if you dare. Let's save, because we haven't saved up until this point. Is it going to show us all of our choices? Oh no, it's not going to show us our choices. Okay, I think I'm going to end it here. Episode 2 was interesting because we were at the estate when we started the episode. We were with our cousin the whole day, but it really didn't make the relationship any stronger between us and Tabitha. She didn't really warm up any more than she did the first time I played before this update. So let me know in the comments below what you think of Chapter 2.